Hi, I'm John D. Riley, and I'm a researcher, and I have a company called 0 Point Research. I'm doing this video because I wanted to bring what I would like to call more about conscious awareness. And it's really important when we work with technologies and different devices in our lives, is just to be aware of how they function and the effect to the human system when we're exposed to them. So all of this that I'm going to share today is about a positive awareness, and a little bit of it might be a little shocking to you, and a little bit might be profound in regards to our realization. But it's all about realizing the technologies that we use today and how we can apply them and how we apply them, but how they can be in harmony with us and not where we don't have a negative feeling when we use them. We stay within our balance, we stay within our awareness to accept that, you know, it's a technology that helps us immensely, and how to honor it and to be at our highest around it. So when I'm going to do some demonstrations, you know, because a lot of people talk about the harmfulness of microwaves, and we're not going to go about what microwaves do to food. We're just going to talk about the pollution within the homes and how to be in harmony with them. And you know, a lot of people talk about exposure to our computers. And I'm going to bring a big whopper to a lot of people's awareness is about the exposure to blenders. And when we talk about their unshielded alternating current motors, or AC motors. Now when we do simple tests, and what I have here is when I'm going to do my demonstration, I have a little EMF detector. It's an electromagnetic field detector that'll measure milligauss outputs of what would be considered either just the field strength or the radiation of an energy field. This is not sensitive enough to measure the human system. We are an electromagnetic field generator, and a lot of people don't understand that, but with trillions of cells that work with energy, you know, we have to realize that we are a human battery, and thus we do emit a field. Our current technologies, the one that I'm using, will not measure that because it would be too ultra sensitive. But what this does, this has increments of LEDs on it, and when we start getting into each one of them measures about 10 milligausses. Now in what we call exposure to electromagnetic fields, what is considered okay to the human system is about 40 to 50 milligausses of energy exposure. Now once we start getting into 60, 70, 80 milligausses, what happens is that there's an effect that happens in the human system called cellular permeation. Now what happens is that means the outside electromagnetic field is stronger than the human field, and thus it's going to start going into our system. So when we see things in the red, we want to be very cautious about being in high-level fields of imbalanced electromagnetic fields. Now when we look at alternating current devices, in my research I've realized that alternating current is man-made. There's nothing in nature that generates it. So it doesn't do us benefits, it actually throws us into a disruption. So we're going through an evolution within our consciousness and also our human physical condition to actually reinforce ourselves so we can move to the next level. So this is the reason why we bring technologies and also allowing us to bring a higher awareness. So when I turn this on and we look at the computer, the standard laptop, as you can see, it puts out a real minimal field. Now there are hot spots. You know, that you'll see the LEDs start to go up. Now, as you can see, once in a while, we'll spike into what we call high milligauss awareness. It gets up to about 70, 80 milligausses. Now, but one of the things I want you to bring awareness to is when we back off. When we're this far away, there's no field reading at all. So again, any level of permeation to the human system is almost non-existent. So any laptop is considered safe. The reason why power supplies are put on the ground is to keep them far further away from us, because they are an alternating current source being converted back to DC. DC is the natural state of energy. So when we look at that again, you can feel rest assured, you know, because the human system, when you're working with your laptop, you use it about 1 to 2 feet away, and you're interacting like this. So it's real minimal exposure to any imbalanced EMF fields. There is a high voltage power supply that runs the backlights on these computers, and that's usually the highest level of EMF. When we look at a microwave, these have been around for several decades now, so they're so reinforced. Like when we actually turn them on and we test the fields, as you can see, it does put out a field. You know, that's 80 milligausses at the source, but as soon as we back away, 3 or 4 inches. It drops radically. So pollution is, you'd have to literally put your head on it to actually get exposure to the actual EMF fields at a high level, which could cause imbalancing to the human system. So this is kind of important to realize. Refrigerators have hot spots very similar, but after 3 inches, they drop off. Now, one of the things I wanted to bring awareness to is everyone who works to be in a healthy lifestyle, and they work with the wonderful Vitamixes or any blenders of this type, is this is the eye-opener. This is the one that kind of shocks a lot of people when I show them, is that this is the most harmful in regards to electromagnetic field devices in the home. In regards, because it actually, without the awareness of the actual manufacturers, they've actually created these devices, but they use an unshielded AC motor. And when we work with unshielding, the EMF fields go out tremendously. So I'm just going to do a simple demo. I'm going to turn this unit on, and I'm going to turn on the Vitamix. It's going to be a little loud when I do it, but when I turn it up to high, I want you to see what happens. So turn it on here. Turn it on low. As you can see, it puts out a very small reading. But now I'm going to turn it into the high mode. Now, I want you to be aware of when I'm going to step away, and I'm going to show you how big that field is, and when the display starts to go to green, where it's considered safe. Okay, so you saw that, and now what does that mean? Okay, don't go running and throwing your Vitamixes away and all your blenders away. But what happens is the common blender that you can buy puts out about 1,200 Gaussians, 1,200 milligauss, excuse me, of electromagnetic radiation. Now, when we look at the human system, and our awareness is that what is considered safe is about anything under 40 milligausses. So 80 creates cellular permeation. When you're exposed to 1,200 milligausses, we have to be aware of that. Now, what's going to happen is that what I call this is kind of the no zone. Is when people put all their ingredients in the blender and they stand there and they turn it on and they watch it blend. Now, what are you doing? I just showed you how big the field is. It's very prominent. It goes out about 3 to 4 feet on most of these devices. So, and you're right, putting yourself right exposure, right to the heart and to the center of our body. Always, avoid, because I've never seen a lid blow off of one of these. I mean, you put them on, you cap it on, you turn it on. Now, one of the things you do is you turn it on, you set it, and you walk away. You go do something for about 30 seconds to a minute, however long it takes to blend, and then you come back and then you turn it off. Now, what have you just done? You've reduced 90% of the exposure just by turning it on and walking away, getting out of the field, which is about 3 or 4 feet, and going to do something else, and then coming back in. So now we've immediately reduced the effect, so the human system doesn't have to rebalance as much from an aggressive exposure to EMF fields. So this is one of the key things that I wanted to share today. And I really hope that this brings some insight. So again, it's not about running out and freaking out about the exposure, because we're exposed to the electromagnetic fields all the time. And we just have to be more conscious in our awareness about how large the fields are and what happens when the human system is introduced to it. And hopefully with this little information, this will give you a better awareness and a higher quality of life. And that's literally prominently about my research, is to have us in our most optimum abilities of capabilities of living, and living in that high quality. Hope you enjoy this.